So Yakuza Kiwami 3 was recently announced, and today I just wanted to share my thoughts on it with all of you. Let's start by talking about the redesigns. I think it's weird how they changed Hamazaki's face, especially since he had a pretty distinctive look in the original. Now he just looks like one of those forgettable slimy type villains, like Aoyama or Masuzoe, which he was, but I feel like his design made him more memorable than those two at least, even if we were discounting Yakuza 4. As for the other recasts, Rikiya and Nakahara, I think their new actors look too cool. It looks better if they look unimposing. At first you're not going to think much of the Gyodo family, but by the end you really care for them. The same goes for Kiryu's black shirt. It looks great on him, no problem there, but the bright red shirt showed that he's in a happier place in life. Also, why did they give Rikiya basically the same shirt as Kiryu? Now he just looks like a fake Kiryu, which is funny because Rikiya's new actor played a character in Tokyo Vice who's pretty similar to Kiryu. Now let's move on to the new fighting styles, the dragon style, or whatever it's called in this. Okay, small tangent, but can we have a more unified naming scheme? Kiryu's classic style is called Legend in Zero, Dragon in Kiwami, Yakuza in Gaiden, and now in this it's called Dragon of Dojima Kiwami style. I looked it up. Same thing with Extreme Heat, which is now called Dragon Boost, which is a confusing name on its own, since it makes you think that it's exclusive to the Dragon style, but seemingly not. Anyways, the Dragon style looks like the Yakuza style from Gaiden, with combos and bounding throws from the pre-Dragon Engine games mixed in. There's also what looks like some kind of new dynamic counter system. Looks interesting. Then there's the new Ryukyu style. At first I thought, where does this come from? But then I remembered the goat Yonashiro. He's the one that teaches you how to use Tonfas, calisthenics and all of that. I always thought he was one of the best teachers, and his theme is amazing. Now watch him not even be in the game. I mean, they didn't bring back Mac and Ishin because they felt it would have been too fanservice-y. Okay. And I feel like Yonashiro is in the same tier of character as him. They're both cult classic characters from the PS3 era that teaches you stuff. But I have hope. I think it's cool that this new style is based on Okinawan martial arts. It feels like they're taking elements from the original and expanding on them, even if it does feel a little too outlandish. Like, I don't think there's a lot of Captain America schools in Okinawa. Next, let's talk about the new side content, starting with the orphanage related activities. I like that they're expanding on the orphanage with new mini-games and sub-stories. I just hope these won't make the game feel more bloated, with forced tutorials and incessant back and forth. And even though the orphanage stuff was cool from a story perspective in the original, slowly walking around the house looking for kids to talk to got annoying. And they might make it worse in the remake, considering how much bloat the newer Yakuza games have. But we'll see. Now in regards to the new biker gang side story, remember when I said I like when they take elements from the original and expand on them? Well, this is not that. Maybe I missed something, but I don't remember bikers having any sort of presence in the story. This just seems like lame reuse of Lost Judgment's thing, even though there were probably more bikers in 2009 than in 2022. So you could argue that it makes more sense here, but I prefer it when the side stories reflect the game's time period, or is synonymous with the region you're in. Sometimes it fits the character you're playing as. Just any type of justification. Whenever they reuse something from another game, it just feels off. And you know we're going to get the usual, these are the 4 generals you have to beat, which was always the worst part of the recent Yakuza games. Especially in Kiwami 2, where you had an entire cutscene introducing the side story villains. I remember being so confused during this. I was like, who are these people? Do I have to take notes? It makes the actual story harder to follow because they make a big deal out of these characters that have nothing to do with anything. But what's really exciting about this new package is the new Mine story, Dark Ties. I think Mine has the potential to be really fun to play. He has one of the best movesets in the series, and I especially love how they reused it 20 times. But seriously, mechanically speaking, Mine is probably the best Yakuza final boss. I'm not good enough to have the opinion that Yakuza 3 has the best battle system, but Mine is such a fun fight. But we'll see how they adapt his moveset into actual gameplay. Now, story-wise, I like that this seems to be a more serious narrative, and that we get to play as an actual Yakuza. Unless this is all before Mine swears an oath, or whatever you have to do to officially become a Yakuza. But I don't think so. In the direct, they called Kanda Mine's brother, so I think this is it, guys. I have a few concerns, however, notably on how they'll handle Kanda and Mine's relationship. They seem to be really close, and if they make Mine and Kanda have a real bond, instead of just using each other, I'm worried that it would contradict the whole Mine was disillusioned by the Yakuza plot point, because that's exactly what Mine was looking for. Bonds. In Yakuza 3, Mine sees the people from the Yakuza like Kanda the same way as the people from his company who betrayed him. Daigo was the only exception. If they make Kanda actually risk his life for Mine, that kind of goes against that, and I feel like he should respect Kanda as much as Daigo. Now, it's very possible that Kanda betrays you at the end, but even if he does, having these moments of friendship, however fake they may be, will make Kanda a much more sympathetic character. In Yakuza 3, I think Kanda being so hateable makes you relate to Mine more, and think maybe Mine is right about the Yakuza. Kanda is the type of character that says that Mine needs to stick his neck out for him, but you know that Kanda would never do that for Mine. But in the new trailer, he literally has a Majima pink truck moment. Now, we don't know the context of this scene. This could very well be some kind of setup by Kanda. But even if they make him the worst person ever in the story, I feel like having him be the center of so many gameplay mechanics. I mean, you have bonding events, counter damage control. They want you to form some kind of attachment to him, even if the relationship is intentionally superficial. But despite a few concerns, I'm still excited for this game. That's it for me. Goodbye.